Okay, so here was the problem you had for homework last night. You were supposed to divide this quadratic into your fourth degree polynomial here. So just I don't want to say this, a word of caution, right, or something that you guys should be, aware of. In algebra, you guys, kind of worked out how exponents work, right, what they mean and stuff like that. So as you're doing this, right, here we start off with a degree of fourth, right, an x to the fourth. We're dividing by something with degree 2, right? So your answer, your quotient, should be a degree of 2, all right? So your first term should be, your highest term should be an x squared. So just kind of use that to, help you move forward, right? If this was just x to the fourth, blah, 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 divided by x minus 1, then we would only go down 1 degree, and our highest exponent up top would be x to the third. All right, so that's just something that you guys can, ask yourself or just notice real quick before you begin to make sure you're headed in the right direction. All right, so I'm going to use the method we used yesterday. So I take a look at my leading term there, my leading term here. So I have 6x to the fourth. I'm dividing that by x squared. Right. All right, so the coefficient is still going to be a 6. And x to the fourth divided by x squared gets us x squared. So up here, we're going to put 6x squared. Distributing the 6x squared, now make sure it goes to all 3 of your terms. 6x squared times x squared, 6x to the fourth. 6x squared times x is going to be positive 6x cubed. 6x squared times negative 1 is negative 6x squared. We're subtracting. They are eliminated. Be careful here. Negative 1, right? There's an invisible 1 there. Negative 1 minus 6 is the same as saying negative 1 plus negative 6. So down here, you should have 7x cubed, negative 7x cubed. And here we have negative 1 minus negative 6, or negative 1 plus 6. So that will be 5x squared. All right, so that's what we get when we subtract. And now we bring down everything else. So in the example we saw yesterday, it worked out where not only the first term canceled out, okay, but that second term also canceled out. Right? Unfortunately, though, this time that we have a value there. So now I'm looking at my first term here. Negative 7x cubed divided by x squared. Well, that's just going to be negative 7x. Okay, again, we distribute. We get a negative 7x cubed, negative 7x squared, positive 7x. Okay, and again, we subtract, eliminating that first term. Off to a good start. 5 minus negative 7 gets us a positive 12x squared. 9 minus 7, 2x, and we didn't touch the 3, so that gets brought down. All right, so now we're just looking at this last one here. 12x squared over x squared, well, that's just going to be 12. All right, so now we're going to multiply this 12. We're going to distribute it. Okay, so we all have coefficients of 12 there. 12 times 12 is 24. 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 12 times 12 our first, let me do this. We're subtracting 12x squared minus 12x squared. They're gone. 2x minus 12x is negative 10x. Negative 3 minus negative 12 will be a positive 9. Okay, this is our remainder. Now, again, right, if there was a squared there, then we can keep going. All right, but because this term has a lower degree than your first term here, we can't go any further. So our answer would be 6x squared minus 7x plus 12. Now remember, we do our remainder by putting this over what we divided by. All right, so our quotient, right, our answer to 6x to the fourth minus x third minus x squared plus 9x minus 3 divided by x squared plus x minus 1 is 6x squared minus 7x plus 12 plus negative 10x plus 9 over x squared plus x minus 1. Okay, any questions with that? All right, so we won't be saying this much. Again, it might pop up in a later quiz or something like that. But I'm not going to be focusing on this too much. Okay. All right, so let's move on then. Synthetic division. Okay, so synthetic division works when we have a divisor in the form x minus k. Okay, so right, so synthetic division only works when we're dividing by linear factors. Okay, so if I had a problem like we had for the homework where it was x squared anything, okay, as soon as you see that x squared, it's no longer a linear factor. You can't use synthetic division. You have to use long division. Okay, but luckily for us, if we're looking for zeros or solutions or factors, right, they're going to be linear. Okay, specifically x minus k. All right, so I'm going to show you how we set it up using one particular type of equation, but then we'll take a look at an example where it's kind of expanded. All right. Okay, so this example, right now we're just going to be using variables, but like I said, I'll show you with numbers afterwards. We're looking at a cubic polynomial. So I have ax to the third, bx squared, cx, and d. Okay, so again, notice that this is in what's called polynomial standard form. Our exponents decrease in order, right? X to the third squared. Technically, this is x to the first, and this would be an x to the 0, but we don't write that. So the setup, now there's different ways to set it up. Whatever value you have here is going to go on your outside, and we take the opposite sign. Okay, so if this is x minus k, you're going to put a positive k here. Right, then you're going to make a box, or half a box, right, with the k on the outside. Then what you're going to do is you're only looking at the coefficients. And you're going to put those numbers here. All right, so that's how you set it up. Okay, so again, these are the coefficients. Right, and this was your linear constant. So the first thing we do is we bring down whatever that first term is, a. Okay, so if it's a 1, that stays 1. If it's a 10, it stays 10. If it's a -3, it stays -3. Then, to get the number here, we're going to move in a kind of zigzag direction. To get up here, I'm going to multiply whatever I have down here times my linear constant. So here I'm going to have a times k. Then we add down. So whatever's up here, you're going to add to this. And then we just keep going in that pattern. Okay? So we bring down, we multiply. We add, we multiply. We add, we multiply. And you keep doing that until you're all the way at the end. Now what this gives us, okay, these numbers here in the front, down here, the first numbers are going to give you the coefficients of your new equation, right? So it would be, you know, the next polynomial would be your answer. This number over here, we call, ends up being the remainder. All right, so that last number, we kind of isolate that, and it's a remainder. Now, if that last number is 0, then there is no remainder, and we have a linear factor. Okay. If it's not 0, then we end up having a fraction like we did before. All right, so that's a little confusing because it's just, you know, letters, and I don't show you everything. So let's jump into a problem. Okay. So we have the cubic polynomial 2x third minus 8x squared plus 13x minus 10. We are going to divide that by x minus 2. All right, so on the outside, I'm going to have a positive 2. Okay, right? Because the linear factor is x minus k. So my k is just the 2. We do the opposite sign. And what that does, when we do that, that automatically builds in this subtraction part. Okay, so that's why we can add down and we don't have to worry about subtracting and changing signs because it's built in right in the beginning. All right, so we got our box. All right, and again, I'm just worried about the coefficients. Okay, so I'm just looking at the numbers, and we're going to write them down. So the first coefficient is 2. My second coefficient, make sure you bring the sign along with it, is going to be negative 8. Then I have a positive 13 and a negative 10. Okay, so we got everything set up there. So again, the first thing I do is I just bring down that first number. That stays at 2. Coming up here, I'm going to do 2 times whatever my k is. So 2 times 2. So that's going to be 4. All right, I'm not going to do this every time because it's going to get real messy and crunched. All right, but I'm just showing you now. So down this way, I'm going to do negative 8 plus 4. Right? I add them together. That's going to get me negative 4. Again, we come up here by multiplying. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 13 plus negative 8 is negative 5. I'm sorry, positive 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Okay, and again, I'm going to do this where I kind of isolate that last number. All right, so this works out nicely. I don't have a remainder. But what is my final answer? Okay, so in the beginning, when we went over the homework problem, remember what I told you about dividing with our variables, right? So I start off with an x to the third, and I'm dividing by an x. So I'm knocking everything down 1 degree. So now this is going to be the coefficient for my new term, which is going to be 1 degree lower than what it was up here. So that's going to be 2x squared. And then everything else just follows in descending order. So minus 4x plus 5. And that is our final answer. All right. So if you wanted to rewrite it, you could say 2x third minus 8x squared plus 13x minus 10 divided by x minus 2 is equal to what we have up here, 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. All right. And personally, I think that's a little faster, a little quicker than long division, right? You don't have to worry about distributing. You don't have to worry about changing the signs and subtracting and making sure, you don't mess up there. It's a lot more straightforward. All right, we're going to do one more together. All right, yeah, we got time. Okay, I'll give you... All right, so now we're going to do... Okay, so here we're doing x to the fourth minus 10x squared minus 2x plus 4 divided by x minus 3. All right, so your k, all right, I'll put that here. Our k is going to be negative 3, right? Because we have x minus k. So in order to get a plus there, my k needs to be negative to change that sign. So on the outside, we have the negative 3. Now be careful here. Okay, we saw an example like this yesterday. We're missing a term. We're missing an x to the third. So I still need a placeholder in synthetic division like we needed a placeholder for long division. Right? And that is going to be a 0. All right, so you can put it up here if you'd like, so you don't forget when you're doing your coefficients for the synthetic division. My first coefficient is 1. Right? Then I have a coefficient of 0, and then everything else is as it seems, -10, -2, and 4. All right, let's go through our steps. Bring down the first number, 1. 1 times -3 is -3. We add, we get -3. -3 times -3 is +9. We add, we get -1. -1 times -3 is +3. We add, we get another 1. -3 times 1 is -3. We add, and we have another 1. Okay, so here we have a remainder. Okay, but we treat these like we did before. Right? So my first term here was x to the 4th. So my first term in my quotient is going to be x to the 3rd with a coefficient of 1. Minus 3x squared minus x plus 1. Okay, and then we deal with the remainder like we did before. I'm going to take my remainder and I'm going to put it over what I divided by. So plus 1 over x plus 3. And there we have our quotient, our answer. All right, any questions?
Mr. Murray.
What's up?
So are we always like for the first term? Are we always bringing it 1 degree down?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works that way because our factor is always going to be linear. Okay. If that was an x to the squared, we'd bring it 2 down, but we couldn't do synthetic division that way. Okay, so as long as you're using synthetic division, right, you're always just going to drop the degree by 1.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Any other concerns?
Do you think we had time for another problem?
I might be able to do one quickly. If you guys if you have a class at 11 o'clock, you can leave. I'll be recording this and it'll be there. But let's do one more.
All right. Bye, Mr. Murray. Have a nice day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay. Let's do 5x cubed minus 8x squared minus x plus 6 divided by x plus 2. All right, so no missing terms up here, right? Third, second, 1, 0. So that's okay. I don't have to worry about having any zeros up there. My k is going to be -2 for our box. We bring the coefficients down, 5, 8, -1, and 6. All right, so that 5 gets brought down, so automatically, your first term is going to be 5x squared. 5 times -2 is -10. We add those together, we get -2. -2 times -2 is a +4. Adding those together, we get a 3. -2 times 3 is -6. Well, that's looking nice. We have a remainder of 0. Okay, so we already have that first term. I brought down the 5 to the x squared. So then this is going to be minus 2x plus 3. Or again, you can rewrite it 5x cubed plus 8x squared minus x plus 6 over x plus 2 equals 5x squared minus 2.
All right, I got it. Thanks, Mr. Murray.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Mhm.